awesome. Guys, we are out here in St. Louis, just about an hour from Union Station, continuing day 4 of ILEETA 2026, and we are out here filming the PIT or Pit Maneuver class.
As soon as you round that corner, I want you up on this car. Match speed, light touch, steering input. Steel on these bumpers.
There we go. I got
Our main focus here right now, as the class is getting started, it's going to start off slow. So it's going to be introductions. It's going to be the instructor laying the land, laying a foundation for what's to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to mic him up with one of our Hollyland mics. The goal with that is to just get little tidbits of audio that it's real time, real information that's being had from the instructor to the students. When you're filming an event, you kind of want it to be as organic as possible. And so if I don't have to direct somebody, if I don't have to make somebody say something, I'd rather get them doing it in their natural habitat, in their natural environment, especially when they're talking to a crowd. Because typically if you're talking to a crowd, you're gonna raise your voice, you're gonna speak a little bit louder. And then if you get somebody off to the side and you say, hey, okay, do that again, usually their voice kind of drops to where they're kind of just talking. So we're just gonna leave the microphones on there and just gonna see what we get.
And again, this is why it's so important to have such a long area, is when you come around that corner, you need to be up on the vehicle. Well, what happens with your students is all of a sudden they come up here and then they got to brake, right? So then you're doing this back and forth. If you're a left foot braker, that's great. If you're not, and you can be, that's even better because it's got to be fast.
And then we're just gonna get some slow-mo shots. We're probably gonna go to 60 frames a second, maybe a little bit of 120. But this will allow us to get some cutaway shots, some close-ups of the instructor talking. It'll give us some shots of the students, and we'll get to show the scale of the class, how many guys are in here, and represent a couple different departments that are out here as well. After that, they're gonna start off slow with their pit maneuvers. They're just gonna get the guys used to some things. We're going to take this opportunity to kind of get some really close, tight, fast shots and try to get some really cool cutaway shots for myself, because I know that once they start moving, once they start getting fast, it's going to be hard to get really close. It's going to get a little bit faster, a little bit more dangerous, and so I try to be as safe as humanly possible. Andrew and I are going to be out here tag teaming. He's going to be running handheld. I'm going to be running the Ronin. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what we get, and it's going to be a blast. That was tight. That felt good. Let's get some blood pumping. This is what I like. This takes me back to skateboard days. People are gonna see this and be like, we weren't really going that fast. Oh man, that was close. That was... Yeah.
Oh, break.
Oh, that was awesome.
That's why I put half-inch steel on these bumpers.
There we go. I got a big foot, man. That was a good pit though, right?
Yeah, well, you can.
All right, boys. I'm gonna hop out.
Okay,
Originally, we actually were planning on using the car rig for this particular shoot. We figured that the pit maneuver class was going to be on a much longer stretch of road. I didn't realize they were going to be doing in this little square and at such a low speed. So as much as I wanted to still use the car rig and we could probably get some interesting shots that way, the amount of time that it would take to set up that rig in order to get the shots that we were looking for, and then to tear it down and then to change positions and stuff, this stuff is happening so fast, it just doesn't make sense to set up a rig like that for this, especially at such a low speed and with such limited runway and space to work with, especially having 3 cars in the same vicinity. That pivot that we had to make was, yeah, cool. I really wanted to get those shots, but pivoting to me just running the Ronin on foot and Andrew on the B camera. Andrew was also running the drone as well. It allowed us to be a lot more flexible with the time that we had. Sometimes it's hard to pivot and you don't want to, but what's that E to E ratio that I always talk about? The effort to enhancement ratio is like, the effort that I put into here, is that going to really elevate this production that much in terms of how much time is it going to are we sacrificing for it, and what's the actual result that we get, and do we lose time to get other footage and get other shots that we normally would have been able to if we pivot? And so for me, it's a no-brainer. Not enough space, not enough time. I'd rather be super flexible and fast and be able just to take the Ronin and just get as many different shots as possible, and then have Andrew on the drone and the B camera as well. So being able to make those calls on the fly as it happens is super important, especially when it comes to not just events, but any production. I mean, things like this will happen all the time, even on super planned events, even on commercials, if you're planning everything down to a T. Sometimes weather comes into play. Sometimes talent schedules, like somebody comes in late or something doesn't start when you want to, or equipment, something happens with equipment. You need to be able to learn how to adapt and how to change the plan and know how to problem solve on the fly. And sometimes you end up getting a better result because of it. And so it's a super good skill to develop. As far as Ronin settings goes, I like to run the Ronin a lot of times in responsive mode, on medium to fast mode, because the bandwidth and the motion, I don't necessarily like perfect gimbal shots, like perfectly like clinical, stabilized shots. A lot of times if I want to get, especially when it comes to car stuff like this, being able to take the Ronin and use it in a way that gets me smooth but also shaky, but also handheld feel, like aggressive style, fast-paced feeling stuff. I love it because it helps me move fast, but also gives me some shake, it gives me some motion. It really helps me sell that we're going faster than we are. These cars out here today, we're probably not even going past like 25 miles an hour. And so it's up to me, like if I can do my job right, and I can, have camera movement that goes, forward and pushing and past and swipes or like panning, I can create a feeling of higher speeds than what we're actually seeing. And so it gives me the opportunity to have some really dynamic shots and make everything that we're seeing here a lot more intense. I'll switch back and forth between the pan tilt mode, and then I'll also switch it to the FPV mode, which gives me a little bit more of a fluid handheld kind of feel. And another thing is frame rates. When it comes to frame rates, I love doing 24 frames a second when it's high action stuff, especially car stuff. You really get to tell that story of speed, of intensity. I used to shoot 120 frames a second all the time. It was new, it was fresh, it was like, yeah, okay, you have a nice camera if you can do 120. And so I just filmed everything in 120 because it was cool. Like, that's all I ever filmed. I literally filmed everything. I filmed interviews in it. I filmed literally all things all the time in 120 frames a second. And so, and that was before I was using ND filters. And so I would just crank the shutter. It's a lot of moments that I just am not proud of looking back on my career. But for the majority of the time, I'm filming 24 frames a second. And that's because I love the real motion, and I love practicing how smooth I can get my shots, because slow motion can save you. If you're running 60 or 120 frames a second, a lot of times that ends up saving you from a shaky moment or something where you move too fast, or like you didn't hold the shot long enough. 120 frames, 60 frames, like that'll save you, so you can slow it down and you can, have a good clean shot from that still. 24 frames, you don't get that opportunity. You have to be clean, you have to be smooth on your shots, and you have to do it deliberately. I've learned to base all of my decisions as far as frame rates, movement, angles, all of that is based on the story that I'm trying to tell. What is the feeling? What are the sounds? What are the things that I want my audience to feel and see and hear? All of that is going to dictate now. That helps me decide what tool, what framing, what shots, what angles, if it's gimbal, if it's handheld, if it's static, whatever. That helps me decide on what I'm trying to accomplish and what I need to do in order to achieve that feeling that I want to give the audience. And so being intentional with all of those things is super key. event coverage like this takes me back to my skateboarding days. You're just out there capturing as much as you can, as fast as you can, and trying to get all the different kind of shots that you can. And it's especially when you're running wide lens, low to the ground, using the Ronin in briefcase mode. I mean, that to me just reminds me of like having my old Canon GL1, GL2, and having a fisheye on it, and just trying to get all kinds of stuff, different angles, and I don't know, it just takes me back to those days, which were super fun, and I miss them all. So we've got a couple more classes to finish up capturing, and then we will take a little bit of a breather, we'll reset, we'll dump our cards, we'll get all the footage organized, and then we will take a nap, hopefully, and then we will be back to capture tonight's hospitality events. And ILEETA is so much fun. I enjoy every bit of it, and it's just non-stop, as you can tell. So I think this will wrap us up for the behind the scenes of capturing a conference. We got one more day. It's basically a pickup day for whatever we didn't capture, and then we'll make those couple of rounds and get a couple more classes, and then that'll be it. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you guys are seeing things, learning things, just even by watching how we're working these events and some of the productions that we're on. I want to keep doing these behind the scenes style stuff, and I want it to be more vlog style, if anything. If I have to formally come on camera and do stuff, then I will, but I love being out in the field, talking about the stuff. I love being out in the field, explaining things and like showing what we're doing and why we're doing it. The mindset to me is the most important, and I think I love it when I get to basically kind of come with other DPs and other production companies as they do their jobs, and so especially if it's on YouTube, that gives me real experience without actually having to be there in person. So I find that stuff super valuable, and I hope you guys do too. So we're going to continue to film as much BTS as possible, and take you guys along the ride, and hopefully you'll learn stuff and be able to apply it to your businesses and apply it to your productions as well. So appreciate you guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
If you get an opportunity to be selected to teach at ILEETA, that's like going to the Olympics for law enforcement, right? You got training in every aspect, from defensive tactics to leadership, right? So every single thing that you need is here.
Putting people through these reality-based scenarios gives them the ability to practice different techniques.
Keep pressure on that, okay? Can you keep pressure on for me? Really what happened? Twist, twist.
Your buddy went down, threw a tourniquet on his leg. He's ready to go in an ambulance. Check your tourniquet. Move him to the ambulance, check your tourniquet.
One of my favorite things to use AI for is brainstorming.
It's a one-stop shop. You've got live fire here. You've got all the new technology for training here. You've got the people that do the research here. If you're serious, if you're professional, if officer survival, physically, mentally, if that matters to you, this is the place.
Really, at this conference, you have the tip of the spear. Just about every presentation you go to here, you walk away with something that you're able to take back to your organization and apply.
Moving, white target, target down. Pull the trigger, get behind cover, and dump the round. Go ahead and load that operational round. Impact.
You are not sitting in class and you're doing it wrong. The people I look up to so much, and they're sitting in class, they're taking notes, they're talking, they're interacting. You don't see that. I go to a lot of other conferences, and you just don't see that.
You see these people on TV, like that guy was at the conference. You see them testifying in court cases as professionals.
Because I get high reps, I also get to have high pattern detection. I'm not just going to talk about how to train the modern day recruit better. What I'm also going to start talking to you about is how do we know if they're going to recover after bad incidents or not.
Scenario's live. Sir, stop. Taser. Get down on the ground. Arms up.
If you're the officer that's coming through here, think about how many times you want to get kicked before somebody does something, right?
As soon as you round that corner, I want you up on this car. Match speed, light touch, steering input. That's why I put half-inch steel on these bumpers.
There we go. I got a